So my people, my fellow Jamaican citizen, we have heard what the People's National Party are proposing. They are so desperate to the point where they are saying to the taxi drivers, don't carry no Labourite voters on the day of election. How low they can get. They have said a lot of things that disgust me, but this is one of the most disgusting things that I have ever heard them saying. Another thing is, it took Mr. Holness 20 years, ladies and gentlemen, of investments and all of that. And many persons don't know, that Olint, the failed investment scheme, Olint and Cash Plus has caused many persons to become wealthy. They have caused many persons to become rich. And Mr. Holness had invested in it before it collapsed. Ladies and gentlemen, before it collapsed, he had invested in it. Of course, he collected back his money before his money was shut down in it. He collected it. But ladies and gentlemen, what is giving the PNP trouble is that a poor little black man from out of Spanish Town who used to sell in the market, he should not become wealthy. While the People's National Party's Mark Golding, the same one that is running for Prime Minister, he has accumulated billions through sweetheart deals, he and his friends. Not to mention Philip Paulwell and all of the others, ladies and gentlemen. So what they are saying is that Mr. Holness shouldn't elevate. He should have stayed in the slum. He should have stayed being poor. The man, ladies and gentlemen, knows, because he had been there under the PNP government. He has been there under the PNP administration. And what they used to do, the PNP administration, is take the wealth from the poor and give to the rich. What Mr. Holness is teaching us to do is to spread the wealth. That is the reason why Mr. Omar Azan have the audacity to say that the economy is the worst it had ever been in 30 years, simply because the wealth is being circulated. One person is not controlling the wealth anymore while everybody else is hungry. Everybody now get a chance to get a piece of the pie and they don't like it. Everybody get a chance now to live in big houses and eat big food. Ladies and gentlemen, I went on the road, person asking me how I'm putting on so many weight. I am putting on the weight because, ladies and gentlemen, the minimum wage had increased 3 times. Mr. Holness have put the system in place where poor people can earn business, can own the business, ladies and gentlemen. And it took me about 3 years of savings, ladies and gentlemen, to open up an online store. 3 years of savings under the Jamaica Labour Party, while taking care of my family, while taking care of myself under the People's Administration. I have to wonder if they had worked witchcraft on the money, because when you get the money under the People's National Party, when you get the money, ladies and gentlemen, it vanished. Sometimes we wonder if they carry it up to the lodge place in New Kingston. Sometimes we wonder if our employers do that, because, ladies and gentlemen, as we get the money, before we even finish paying JPS, the money finish. Now, ladies and gentlemen, lots of us are both working and saving money, and that's the problem with the People's National Party. They don't like that. Yeah, yesterday I was saying that Dayton Campbell and Mark Golding is very annoying, because, ladies and gentlemen, they are inciting violence. They are inciting violence. Mr. Holness has said to his supporters, listen me, be respectful. Not only him, but his other members have said to their supporters, be respectful. Don't go back to the 1980s. And Dayton Campbell and Mark Golding is there inciting violence. Then have the audacity to be saying that Prime Minister Holness is unfit to be prime minister and unfit to be to even be MP because of the investigations that he have doing. Ladies and gentlemen, from the day the man went in Jamaica House, they have been investigating him. And up until now, they can't find anything. If he was involved in wrongdoing, ladies and gentlemen, wouldn't they have found out something? And I hear some people say that the only place he's going is in jail because he's a chopper. Let me tell you who is a chopper. I heard one of the PNP caretaker encouraging people to chop. So who is a bigger chopper than the People's National Party? Who is a bigger chopper? I hear criminal elements saying that they prefer the People's National Party because the People's National Party gives more blight than the Jamaica Labour Party. That's what criminal elements says. So ladies and gentlemen, to support criminals, ladies and gentlemen, is what this administration does not do, because the same hand that you feed today is going to turn around and bite you. Look at a snake. If you grab the snake by its tail, it's going to turn its head and it's going to bite you. If you grab it in the middle, it's going to turn its head and it's going to bite you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you feed criminals, they're going to stop investors from coming into the country, and they are going to even target your children. And they're going to target your children, they're going to target your family because of the policies of the Jamaica Labour Party. The extortionists are cowards. They are running cowardly because the government is clamping down on them. The People's National Administration encourage people to chop, ladies and gentlemen, which is a disgrace for persons aspiring to be lawmakers. So you're going to make it legal for persons to chop, and then you have the audacity to say that Mr. Holness is not fit to be Prime Minister and shouldn't be running. Mr. Dayton Campbell and Mr. Mark Golden, you shouldn't be running for Prime Minister because because of what you're presenting to the people. You're presenting yourself to the people as a party who will do anything to get power. You'll do anything to get power. You'll tell lies. You're even telling taxi people not to carry labor right voters. Well, listen to me, they don't have to carry the labor right voters. They don't. The JUTC will, because the taxi only hold a few voters, but the JUTC will hold scores of voters. So yeah, and then you are saying that the government is bringing in the school bus to prevent the taxi men from eating food, and the JUTC bus, when they put it on certain route, they are preventing the coastal buses and the taxis from eating food, and yet you're saying to them, don't carry the JLP voters. They are to boycott, they are to refuse to carry the JLP voters on election day. Then if they don't, ladies and gentlemen, if they don't carry the JLP voters, the JUTC buses will. The said school buses you're laughing at will, ladies and gentlemen. So you are only punishing yourself by being arrogant. By demonstrating. Imagine these people, ladies and gentlemen, have their PhD. Because you have some very brilliant people on the People's National Party, but they are only brilliant in books. When they go on their political campaign, what they're blurting out of their mouth, you're wondering if these people are the said people that have their PhD and have their this and have their that. You're wondering. Now listen what Damian Crawford, and I always call him Damian Crosses, because he is suggesting, ladies, he is planning to bankrupt the student loans, ladies and gentlemen, that the government had put in place to help our persons fund their way through college. Damian Crawford is planning to implement a policy that will definitely bankrupt the Student Loan Bureau. How desperate can these people get? When he comes with the 2 hours extension foolishness, and the teacher hit out against him, now he's coming back with a policy that would totally obliterated the Student Loan Bureau. Ladies and gentlemen, Don't vote based on ignorance. Be wise.